Good day, folks, and welcome to Monitoring and Evaluation Made Simple. I'm your host, Coach Alexander. Today, we're going to be looking at a very wonderful topic, steps in project evaluation. Now, this is a very important topic, guys, because some of you may have been privileged to be contracted as a consultant to do a project evaluation. And I want to run you through the steps in case you're feeling that this is your first time and you've never done it before and you need some support. I'm here to give you that support. But also, it could be that you may be in your organization as an M&D officer and you've been tasked to do an internal evaluation. Now, these are the two free ebooks, okay? Some of you guys have been complaining that you can't download them. That's fine. You can always write to me. I'll be able to help you get these ebooks. Then there is this wonderful course hosted on Udemy, How to Write an Effective Research Paper. Please do well to enroll in this course. It's not free, but the price is just right. Okay, so that's basically the outline for that course. Okay, so let's really dive into the whole issue of evaluations. Now, evaluations are important, okay? And I want to appeal to most of you who are running organizations or probably are even having your own businesses. If you're not having your own businesses, there's something that you're running that needs to be evaluated. So evaluations are helpful because they help you establish whether you've achieved your goals or not. And the findings are so important because these findings, whatever comes out of the evaluation, can be used for improvements to be undertaken. Okay, so you can use these findings to improve the way you implement your project. They also inform policy formulation and promote transparency, accountability, and efficiency. The reports generated from evaluations promote also resource mobilization. Now, let me talk about this because when you have these evaluations done, they are communicated to stakeholders. And usually, these stakeholders are the ones who are willing to support something that's working. All right. And that's how it works usually. They want to support something that's working, something that's achieving goals. And if you're doing very well, they'll put more money into it. And of course, sorry guys, I'm talking a lot. Some of you guys complain that I talk a lot, but I want to give you much information as possible. It's important that you take these things seriously because you never know when more money will come into an organization because of the good results you're exhibiting. Okay, so now this is the step-by-step process of conducting an evaluation. The first step is a desk review. The desk review involves adequately reading all the relevant documentation. This documentation are project documents, implementation plans, and budgets. So if you're a consultant who's been contracted to do an evaluation, you are supposed to first of all do some reading. Now, I personally, I don't like reading big documents. It's discouraging when you just look at a big document and they ask you to read. It's discouraging. But unfortunately, you need to do reading because when you do the reading, it's going to help you better understand what the situation actually is with the organization. I forgot to mention that you also need to put project reports. You need to read some of the reports that they were generating. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of information, a lot of reading to do, but that's just how it is. You need to read quickly and be able to get a bit of some basic understanding of what the project is about. The next step is the development of data collection tools. One of the things I've seen which is very unfortunate, is a consultant because he's done evaluations with so many different organizations. He'll use some of the tools he was using, or he or she was using in past evaluations on the current assignment that he's doing. Now, that is not recommended. The reason being is that you need to contextualize these things. You need to deal with each evaluation case by case. So tools that you used for other projects should be not, you shouldn't borrow. You can borrow one or two things, concepts from them, but you need to differentiate them. That way, your evaluation will be much more useful. Okay, so outline the list of people that you obviously have to talk to. There are people that you have to talk to primarily, okay, face to face, but there are others who probably you may not talk to them face to face because you have already some background data about them, about the information you're looking for. Okay, so now when these tools are developed, the next step is to engage what are known as enumerators. Depending on how your project is, if you have a project that was running in certain communities or nationwide, and you need to interview a lot of people you can't do yourself because of the numbers, you engage what are known as numerators. These are data collection agents. So you train them on how to use the tool, on how to effectively collect data. The next step is to pilot test the tools. Okay, so now these tools, when there are different types of tools you have in place. You've got those tools for collecting data from the people one-on-one. You've got focus group discussion tools. You've got key informant discussion tools. So all those tools need to be, you need to orient your people. Of course, you may not use all your people for them, but depending on your needs and the circumstances, you know what to do. So the pilot testing of the tools will ensure that you capture the necessary information. So essentially, when you pilot test these tools, you want to see if there are certain areas which need to be improved. After you've piloted tested, the next is to launch the tools and then undertake the actual data collection. Interview people, interview your key informants, collect secondary data where necessary. The next step is to now enter the data and analyze it. There are different kinds of softwares you can use for data entry and analysis. There's SPSS, there's Stata, and there's also Excel. I am well conversant with Excel and SPSS, and I would encourage you to do the same. You don't need to complicate life. If you can use Excel, use Excel. Okay, and do your analysis. Generate those tables. So now you generate your report, and when you're doing your report, like I mentioned in the previous video, you need to ensure that it's speaking to the project objectives. Don't do a report that has nothing to do with the objectives. I am one person, and I have talked about this before. I don't know why we tend to have very, very big documents. I think maybe it could be that there's need for a lot of information, which is okay. But where you can summarize things, it may be helpful. Let's say in your executive summary, bring out the key issues. So that now in the main report, if I want to clarify those issues, I'll go to the main report to clarify those issues. Because you wouldn't want people to spend the whole month reading an evaluation report, would you? The answer is no. So try to be straight to the point, and in your conclusion, mention whether from your assessment the project achieved its objectives or not. Don't be running in circles, okay? Just hit the nail on the head. Did the project achieve or not? Did it underachieve? And then you put down your recommendations, okay? And then we move on. Circulate the first draft report to management. So the draft report is, I like to say that this is the best, the report. I think what I'm saying actually is this stage is one of the most important stages, because when you have the draft ready, you send it to the management. Allow them to give comments. All right. They should comment on the report extensively. Encourage them to criticize your report. If after giving your report to management, they say, no, no comments, this report is very nice, I like the way the layout is, know that there's a problem. It could be they never even read your report, because people are busy. The only time they are going to wake up is when maybe after you've published the report, someone from the stakeholders reads through and says, but this is not the reality. And then management will say, no, it was the consultant who made this mistake. But yet you gave them time to read. So the thing is that let them comment, but don't let them change any findings. Findings, it's the actual data you collected from the field. So if the findings are showing that people are not happy with the services provided, you don't change that, but you can change the interpretation. Okay? I hope that one is clear. So after management is okay with the report, circulate the report to stakeholders. So it's not you who does the circulation actually. It's the people that have contracted you. So they will circulate that report to stakeholders like government officials and the like. Then improve the report further where necessary. Okay? Sorry about that. I hope you're hearing my phone ringing. Let me just put it on silent. Give me a second. Okay. So if you are a consultant doing the evaluation, be concise and specific about your consultancy fees. So these are just, what can I say? They are meant to give you some tips. So be concise about the consultancy fees. Be on time when submitting the report. Do not change the findings, but be ethical. Explain whether the project achieved its objectives and follow the terms of reference. These are very important points because, guys, you have to be clear about this, that as a consultant, you're an independent person who's been brought on board to analyze things. So be ethical, okay? Tell them that this is your role, you're doing your job, and most important, follow the terms of reference that they've given to you, because that terms of reference is more like the guiding point for you. Be objective and also be clear about your fees. Okay? Thank you so much. So please, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to write to me in case of any questions. I've been your host, Coach Alexander, and see you on the other side.